In a neighborhood like this, safety isn't something you think about. It's the default setting. Sprinklers run on timers, kids leave their bikes on the grass, and the streetlights hum a quiet, predictable tune. People move here for the quiet. They rely on a collective agreement that the subdivision lines act as a barrier against the chaos of the outside world. That agreement shattered at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. A neighbor across the street, unable to sleep, dialed 911 after watching a silhouette in the upstairs window of the house opposite for 20 minutes without seeing it move. Within minutes, police cruisers swarmed the cul-de-sac. Red and blue lights flooded the vinyl siding of the house as officers began cordoning off the driveway. The arrival of the heavy police presence immediately changed the local geography. The threat was no longer an abstract possibility. It was occupying a specific address on the block. First responders immediately established a hard boundary, stringing yellow tape from the street lamps to the neighbor's fence to secure the property's exterior. Neighbors in bathrobes gathered at the edge of the tape, watching as the perimeter locked down the house. Officers began collecting statements from those on the sidewalk, and the accounts were identical. Before the sirens arrived, they had all looked up. This diagram shows the line of sight from the street. From this vantage point, witnesses reported seeing a figure stand perfectly still in the second-story bedroom, staring down at them. For the breaching officers, a static, unresponsive figure holding the high ground meant the interior was a tactical unknown. With weapons drawn, the entry team moved away from the lights of the street and approached the front porch to force entry. This spatial map of the ground floor confirms the first major contradiction. Every window was latched from the inside, the back slider was bolted, and the front door was double-locked. There was no evidence of a forced breach. The foyer and main hallway remained in perfect order. No furniture was overturned, and the rugs were undisturbed, showing that no struggle had occurred in the entryway. This is a locked room anomaly. It's an investigative scenario where the physical shell of a space is entirely uncompromised, yet an incident has occurred within the sealed environment. Because the exterior shell was secure, the logic of the scene dictates that whoever was inside either possessed a key or had been granted entry by the resident. As investigators moved deeper into the upper floors, the order of the ground floor disappeared, replaced by forensic details that didn't align. In the master bedroom, a suitcase was found half-packed with clothes spilling out, alongside car keys left on the nightstand. These details suggest a resident who intended to leave in a hurry. This chart compares those signs of panic against the other evidence found in the house. While the suitcase suggests a rush, the bathroom had been scrubbed with heavy amounts of bleach, and every hard drive in the home had been professionally wiped. The investigation slowed as these details failed to form a clear timeline. Then, months later, toxicology and dental records provided a new data point. The resident of the home had been dead for 4 weeks prior to that 911 call. This meant the person neighbors had seen waving from the porch days earlier was an imposter. The combination of the locked exterior, the systematic cleaning of the bathroom, and the erased digital footprint points to an individual who occupied the house for weeks after the death, specifically to dismantle the resident's life. Years have passed since the police cruisers left the cul-de-sac, and the crime scene tape was removed. The house now stands empty, with plywood over the windows and a yard that is slowly being reclaimed by weeds. The neighbors who remain still avoid walking past the property at night, aware of the dark, hollow space that exists within their community. The case demonstrates a chilling reality of suburban architecture. Deadbolts and alarm systems are effective at keeping the world out, but they provide no protection if a threat is already inside the walls. Despite years of analysis, the figure in the window was never identified, and the conflicting evidence was never reconciled. The 911 call records a moment in time, but the walls of that house keep the rest of the story to themselves.